Awakening, Chapter 8, Bliss. A dense fog clouds my vision as my arms reach for a non-existent guide. I can't see more than a few inches past my nose, but I hear my footsteps echo across pavement. The sound of my breath is dampened by the mist. Thick snow flurries fall from the sky, dancing against a swirling gray background. I zip up my winter coat and prepare to battle the harsh weather. Despite what the scenery leads me to believe, bracing for the cold seems unnecessary. My fingers are not numb, my eyes are not watering, and my nose isn't running. My boots slosh through half-frozen slush, but winter's wet fire doesn't burn my toes. I trudge through falling sleet, but the icy needles inflict no pain as they strike my skin. My brain is telling me I'm freezing, but I don't feel it. It is only a shade of winter, strangely hollow, as if it's not happening at all. A faceless man appears from the mist and rushes past me. He has no distinguishing features, just a silhouette against the snow. Another shadow passes, and then a third. Dozens of people now pack the street, all of them uniformly nondescript. A claustrophobic anxiety takes hold as I navigate the crowd, but I never make contact. They float around me, through the fog, like smoke on the wind. As I continue to walk, the mist fades, and I see that I'm walking down Lane Avenue, as I had been earlier today when I met Turner. As this thought enters my brain, another man steps forward and stops only inches in front of me. "Blaine, you're late," he says in a voice that sounds familiar. "Turner?" I ask, confused. The silhouette morphs and changes, the shadow fades, revealing Turner's fair skin. He brushes his long, jet-black hair out of his dark brown eyes. He looks as I remember him from high school. "You better get inside. She'll be here soon," he smiles to me. "I'll escort her in and introduce everyone." "Who?" I ask. "Who?" he replies, bewildered. "Alice. I've been telling you about her for weeks." "Oh," I exclaim, remembering what I'm here for. "From what you told me, she sounds great. I'm excited to meet her." "She is. Now don't ruin it. Go wait inside and be cool." Cool isn't exactly my specialty, I admit. He laughs and pats my shoulder. "You'll be fine, Blaine. Just be yourself." The facade of Dave's Grill appears on my left, a decrepit hole in the wall where our group always hung out back in Toledo. It had cheap burgers and deliciously greasy fries, so it was a natural choice for a bunch of high school kids. Most people were turned off by the dingy atmosphere, so we usually had the place to ourselves. I push the heavy wooden doorway open and smell the faint stench of cigarettes. I peer through the dimly lit, mostly empty dining area. A grumpy-looking barman with deep blue eyes looks up from his work as I enter. I nod to him, but he pays me no mind. Naomi, Gabe, and Andy are sitting at a round booth in the very back corner. Our booth. Gabe leaps up and gives me a hug. "Blaine, I've missed you, buddy." "Take it easy. School's only been out a few days," Andy jeers. "You don't need to make out with them." "When you're used to hanging out every day, a few days can seem like a lot," Naomi argues. "That's true," Gabe agrees with his big, contagious smile. "How's your summer been so far?" Summer? Summer? I looked down at my cotton t-shirt, khaki shorts, and sandals, but I was almost expecting to see something different. I stand in silence for a moment, feeling dizzy. Why was this wrong? What was I expecting? "Blaine's summer's going about the same as mine," Naomi answers for me, and I snap out of a trance to listen to her. "We both have to get up early and volunteer at the youth running camp as punishment for our fight with Wyatt a few weeks ago." "That was quite the brawl," Andy smiles at the memory. "A glorious victory." "I can't believe Principal Kafke is still punishing you for that," Gabe bemoans sympathetically. Naomi mocks our old principal's voice. "We hold our athletes to the highest standard of excellence at this school." "I think he just needs people to work the summer camp," I groan. There shouldn't have been any punishment. What we did was right. Someone had to take a stand against those guys. Gabe shakes his head in justified anger. Take a stand? We kicked their ass. Andy slams his enormous fist on the table in excitement, reliving the melee in his mind. We did, didn't we? Even the wholesome Gabe cracks a prideful smirk. Andy slides across the booth to make room for me to sit. Just as I do, I hear Turner call from behind me. Everyone, this is Alice. Alice, this is everyone. Hi, everyone. A short, beautiful girl with a kind smile and greenish-gray eyes stands beside Turner. Her curly blonde hair bounces around her shoulders as she walks. I can't take my eyes off her. Hi. I have to remember to close my jaw. Hi, she smiles sweetly, looking in my direction. Alice, this is Blaine, the one I told you about. Turner guides her toward me. He shoots Andy and I an urgent glance that says, Scoot over, idiots, and we maneuver along the bench. Oh, Daniel tells me you're headed to Columbus. Daniel? Naomi snorts, and Turner glares at her. Isn't that your name? Alice asks, confused. These guys call me Turner, he explains. But yeah, I'm going to Ohio State, I answer, wrestling her attention back to the fact that we'll both be attending the same school. Andy lifts his hands in the air in a way that says, What about me? And Alice takes notice. Are you a future Buckeye? She asks, intrigued. Why, yes. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. Andy bows his head appreciatively. Not sure why my buddy Turner is setting up a beautiful young lady with my pal Blaine without giving me any consideration. If looks could kill, Turner would be murdering Andy as we speak. You must be Andy, Alice says with a laugh. Turner warned me you might try to make things uncomfortable. Andy rolls his eyes. Alice continues. Don't worry, it'll take more than that to get to me. Anyways, I'm not Dan Turner's to give to anyone. I've been looking forward to meeting all of you. Well, if it's a fair and open competition. Sorry, Blaine. Andy cracks his knuckles. Yet somehow you've already lost, she cringes. Everyone but Andy roars with laughter. I like her, Naomi grins. Yeah, anyone who can put this guy in his place will fit in just fine. Gabe smiles while patting Andy on the back. The rest of the conversation moves in fast forward. We introduce ourselves and tell her about our plans for college. She's going to study pre-med because she wants to be an oncologist someday. Before long, it's time for her to leave, and we each give her a hug goodbye as if we'd always been friends. While she's walking to the exit, Turner gets my attention and screams without words, What the hell are you waiting for? We should hang out this summer, before Columbus, I blurt. We should. Her greenish-gray eyes sparkle as she smiles back at me. For the first time, I notice they're the same color as mine. Turner walks her outside, and as soon as the door closes behind them, conversation erupts. You better not screw this up, Blaine. She's amazing, Naomi orders with intensity. I mean, no pressure or anything, Gabe laughs. But yeah, I like her. Excellent first impression. Lord knows we could use another girl around here, Naomi sighs. I laugh. We've always appreciated you putting up with us boys. It wasn't easy. Frankly, Naomi, I'm offended that you're generalizing us by our gender, Andy mocks. I, for one, am very in touch with my feminine side and would love to go shopping and talk about boys with you. How high would you need to be? Gabe questions. No more than I am right now, I assure you. Andy flashes a mischievous smile. Once again, our laughter fills the empty restaurant. If anyone else were here, they'd probably be annoyed. The blue-eyed bartender doesn't seem to mind. He continues to wash pint glasses behind the bar. I'm not sure who dirtied them. Seriously, though, she's cool. I like her. Naomi puts her hand on my arm from across the table. I have a good feeling about her. So excited to be a third wheel for the next 4 years, Andy groans, but I can tell he's joking. Some of the girls you guys have brought around were real whack jobs. Remember that one Gabe dated sophomore year? Naomi chides. Rebecca. Ugh. Andy shudders. Not my proudest moment, Gabe sighs. What I'm trying to say, Naomi continues, is you can tell the crazy ones right away. This one's a good fit. Damn, when should I propose? I joke. We're not saying that, Naomi answers. We're saying she's cool. And maybe don't be afraid to let yourself fall in love a little. Just try to enjoy it. Don't overthink things, Gabe smiles. Me? Overthink things? I feign ignorance. That would never happen. Never, Gabe chuckles with sarcasm. Didn't cross my mind, Naomi winks. Honestly, I'm rooting for you to mess up so I can have a shot, Andy jests, as he always does. Well, thanks, I blush. I better go find Turner and thank him for introducing us. See you at running camp, bright and early, Naomi cheers with fake enthusiasm. Oh boy, I match her tone. Bye, guys. Bye, Gabe and Andy say in unison. I get up from the table and make my way through the cramped dining area. My eyes squint as I emerge from the drab interior and am greeted by the summer sun. I see Turner waiting for me. She's cool, huh? He smiles. I like her, I answer honestly. I knew you would. He beams with pride for his matchmaking skills. Well, thanks for thinking of me. I'm surprised you wouldn't want such a cute girl for yourself. I nudge him with my elbow. Turner looks at me, confused. I guess I've never blatantly told you, but you have to know, right? Know what? Blaine, he exhales, disappointed. I don't really like girls. You don't? I ask, still not processing. What about Naomi? No. Turner puts a palm to his forehead with frustration. Naomi's one of my best friends. That's just it. How I am with Naomi? That's how I am with all the girls I get close with. Just friends. My eyes widen as I realize what is happening and how big of a deal this is. It had not gone unnoticed within our group that Turner never had a girlfriend, but then again, Andy and I have never been in a serious relationship either. I'd always assumed Turner's lack of girlfriends was because of social awkwardness, not sexual orientation. Naomi once asked Andy, Gabe, and I if we thought Turner was gay. Gabe and I denied the possibility, citing that if he were, he would have told us. Andy was adamant to the contrary. I love him to death, but that boy's more queer than a flamingo at an ostrich party. As was the case more often than not, our ridiculous friend was correct. I was always afraid to bring up the topic, and I never questioned Turner himself about it. I figured if he ever wanted me to know, one way or the other, he'd tell me. But boys are different. His cheeks turn red. I stand motionless, trying my best to give this moment the respect it deserves. Wonder how long he had been waiting, and how nerve-wracking it must be. Even though he knows I would never judge him, it has to be terrifying to make yourself this vulnerable. I can't believe how stupid I've been. How could I not have realized? None of that matters now. I just need to be a good friend. Well, I guess I owe you one. I put my arm around his shoulder. I'll keep an eye out for a cute boy to introduce you to. He laughs, and I can tell a colossal weight has fallen from his shoulders. That sounds great. There's only one problem. What's that? I ask, not expecting a caveat. You can't owe me anything, he says blankly. Why not? Because I'm already dead. Shock screams through my body as the truth floods into my mind. Panic forces me awake, and I bolt upright. My chest heaves with my straining lungs as my heart beats to a frenzied cadence. Where's Alice? And why am I back in my own bed? Awakening will resume next Saturday with Chapter 9, Alice Hawthorne. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for listening to my story, Awakening. I hope you're enjoying it. Reading my words aloud has been a new practice I've implemented into my writing process, and a friend of mine suggested that, since I'm going through the trouble of reading it aloud anyway, I might as well press record and share with anyone who wants to listen. So my plan is to continue releasing one chapter a week for the foreseeable future. I do have aspirations and dreams of someday getting Awakening published, and I know a big part of getting published in the year 2020 is showing you have a base or a platform. So maybe YouTube could be my way of building just such a thing. If you have enjoyed the story, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you will know when I post the next chapter. I also love to hear from people who have read, or in this case listened, to my story, so please feel encouraged to reach out to me via any of the social media platforms that you should see on your screen now if you have any thoughts, questions, or encouragement. Thank you so much again for reading or listening, and I'll see you next week.